sacrificing the queen. What else is there? This is real chess. This is from the European Championship in Reykjavik. And the white player is Maxime Lagarde, and he's making Marie Antoinette pay. Or he's getting rid of her or whatever. Bad joke. Anyway, this is this this is a kind of a thing you always dream about as a chess player, is to be able to sacrifice the queen and do it in spectacular fashion and have something to show for your grandchildren. And Maxime Lagarde managed to do that twice in 4 rounds in Reykjavik. So it must have been very nice to be Maxime Lagarde. And it's funny, his name is almost the same as Maxime Lagarde, but it's it's definitely not the same player. And I'm not sure Lagarde is going to be as good as Lagarde, but he is very strong, and he's tactically very, very strong. In the first game, he's white against the seasoned strong grandmaster Lubomir Ftacnik, which I have known for more than 20 years in the Bundesliga club Hamburg. He's sort of the Altmeister there, and but he sometimes gets into trouble, and this game was definitely one of those games. He plays the Grünfeld Indian, which is this opening is the Grünfeld, and he's been playing it for his entire life. He's one of the big experts, but nowadays it's not so easy to be one-legged, as you could say, that a player like Lubomir. He's just playing the knight off with black and the Grünfeld with black, and it's easy to prepare. And of course, Lagarde came prepared. He was not surprised by the Grünfeld. And c5 is a little bit surprising. I think bishop g7 first is more common. But it doesn't change much. I think c5 here is still normal. You could castle first, but I think this is the main line. And bishop b5 is a bit interesting. It's a line that's not been played very much, and I'm sort of in. I don't know really what to think of it. It's trying to disturb black's development, and it's a line you should probably look into with the white. Because if a player like Lagarde, who's obviously well prepared and a strong player with 2600, more than 2600, and is obviously using Indian cloud engines, so on, it's probably not so bad. Maybe there are some tricks there, because I think he would. His rating is 2631, and Lubomir is 2513, and I think he would see it as not good if he didn't win this game. Knight d7, it's not the most common move. Rook e1 and a6. I'm not sure I like a6. The thing is, the bishop here is sort of in a weird spot. It's not clear that it's in a good. And if you want to play a6, you maybe should have done it before rook e1. So I'm not sure I like it. Maybe queen c7 or something could be a good idea. And here b5, and I definitely don't like b5. This is, as it turns out, it's a clear mistake. But already, I think white's setup here with the rook on e1, bishop on f1, and no real pressure on the center makes a good impression. I like white here. It's white has good chances of transposing into some sort of an attack on the king side, and his center is well protected at the moment. It's not like when the Grünfeld counterattack just rolls into you. Here, it's everything is under control. Something like e5 is sometimes a good idea. I'm not sure. I would probably play queen c7 here if I was black. b5, but the problem is a4 is a bit annoying because this structure, it would have been nice to be able to play bishop b7 and knight f6 and just get on with the counter attack, but you don't have time for it at the moment. And Lubomir played this move, and I'm not sure I like this. And take here, and this is a pawn sacrifice or something. I don't know. But it makes a little bit of a strange impression. And I think the problem is for a player like Lubomir is that he's been playing the Grünfeld all his life, and he's used to that. The counterplay he gets when he gets this pawn going and the bishop here into the game. Oops. Oh my God. Is usually very good. The problem is here that it's not. It's black is not developed, and he was not ready for the action. So here, and queen b6 is definitely too much, but otherwise you just have lost a pawn. And here it's already starting to look not so funny, right? What to do here? He took here, knight comes in, and we see that black is already on the verge of getting blown away here. And we see that now white is totally mobilized, has no weaknesses, have lost a pawn, but he's gonna get it back at some point, and it will be very difficult for black to avoid material losses. For instance, the queen can't just go because white will take here, and then this one is lost. It loses its cover, right? Also, when you're having these kind of positions, you start to look for unprotected pieces. Knight f6 makes sense. Rook c4. I think this was probably what Lubomir has missed. I think he was hoping to get something like queen d4 in, and sort of get into a slightly worse ending or something where white will have the bishop pair, but you can probably defend. But now the queen is really in trouble because f5 runs into a fork on e7. So queen e6, bishop d5, and all white's pieces are coming, and I could just see Lubomir shaking his head here. What to do? This is just a disaster. There's no help anymore. Check. King has to go. Queen f3, attacks here and attacks here, and black is more or less busted. Plays this move, and this is where I'm sure Maxime Lagarde had seen this move when he played queen f3. There was another option. It was to take first. It just wins the exchange, but to take first and then play queen f3 would have been just as good, just about as good. But this is more spectacular because here white has the amazing queen sacrifice. Queen takes f6, and suddenly we see that the king on h8 is not safe at all. Actually, it's could be mated. If he takes and bishop takes, it's a very beautiful mate. Okay, so you lost a piece or what? But what about h6? Giving air for the king and threatening the queen and threatening the bishop, and queen f4, and black resigned. The problem is he's not getting his piece back. He can't take this one here because after this rook h4 is coming, and it will be more or less mate, or queen h6 or something, and black is totally lost. So after this move, black resigned. Bishop f6 is threatening. There is absolutely no defense. He's just lost a piece. And what a great game by Maxime Lagarde, and just shows how dangerous it is to fall behind in development. So don't go pawn grabbing. Get your pieces out, and don't be mated or let white sacrifice his queen. And probably this will go to every newspaper around the globe. So it's not fun for Lubomir, but this is what happens. Okay, the funny thing is, 2 rounds later, Lagarde did it again. And we gotta see that. So we're not gonna save it. We're gonna go on to it. He's playing against Tai Dai van Nguyen, a Czech Republic player. It sounds very Vietnamese to me, and he's probably from Vietnam originally. He's, by the way, a pretty strong player. He's got 2588, and he has improved steadily over the years, and he is very good. So, and we'll have a symmetrical English. Not the most exciting opening in the world. d3, you can do that. d6, e3, and they're both playing some sort of a delayed Fischer system. And And b3, b6, they all, and bishop a3 was a bit surprising maybe. No, d4. White got in d4 before black, and we see now why bishop a3 maybe be better than bishop b7, because this diagonal is a little ups. Can we get the arrow? Thank you. So black hurries to get it out, and we see again getting connection between the rooks. That's something you should always try to get in general, because when you have that, your development is more or less finished. So you will not be finished very quickly. And when black took, and that's also interesting, and I'm trying to do the same, d5, saying that, okay, my bishop on g7 might be a little bit better than yours on a3. Rook fd1. Oops, I did it again. Wrong button. D takes, queen e2. We see that this is now hanging, and white is in general playing very dynamically. But I'm not sure, he doesn't have much here. And rook c1. And now, of course, if you take knight d5, so black plays knight d5. And I think black was probably thinking that I'm fine here. You take, I take, and I have a majority on the queen side. My king is safe. There's no problems here. And maybe he's right. c8. And this all looks very natural. And here he tries to do some tactics, and it backfires. It wasn't maybe not so bad, but it's kind of dangerous. White is threatening this move, and he's also threatening this pawn, and black goes on to become tactical. Rook knight c3, and Lagarde takes it. Bishop takes. And notice that you can't take the bishop back due to queen, the pin on f3. But as we saw before with Lagarde and Lubomir, Lagarde is very good at activating his pieces. So he's pushing the queen. It has to stay on this diagonal, otherwise white will just take the bishop. So you have to stay on this diagonal, and you can't go to b7, because then a check here would win the queen. So, okay, but what now? Yeah, we see that the king is starting to look a little bit unsafe, but the pin is very annoying. If white could just get that knight into the attack. And he plays queen f4. Very, very interesting position. A lot of room for analysis here. And this is, you see that Lagarde is definitely an attacking player, trying to get into attacking situations where black will have difficulty defending. He's hoping that he might get some black squares attack, f7, h7, f6, h7. A lot of weaknesses is getting up. So it makes sense for black to go back. The problem is he probably missed something very serious here. He played this move, and white is threatening mate in 2 moves. So f7 has to be covered. Something has to be done about it. And the only move here is this, and white will take, and will keep a slight advantage. I'm not sure it's much. It's not a big advantage, but it's he will take, and you will have to take with the rook, and b will take c4, and white will enjoy an initiative with the queen and the rook and the knight. But black is solid, has a good structure, and there's nothing falling immediately. Anyway, but black was hoping to do something else. He played f5 here, and well, that was something he should not have done. So white to move, and you know that Lagarde is not afraid to let Her Majesty go. So what to play here? And when do you think? I'm sure that Lagarde, when he played Queen f4, I'm sure that he saw this move here, and it's interesting that Nguyen didn't see it before it was played. I'm sure he didn't see it. Otherwise, he would have played Rook f8 because there's still everything to play for in that position. So white to move. Yeah, boom. The main line is take, check, and notice that the bishop here is covering this square, so you have to go here and check. You also have to calculate this move because the queen is hanging, so white will take, check, and of course if he goes in, there's rook h7 again, and here there's rook c7 blocking c5, and it's checkmate again. So bravo, Monsieur Lagarde, well played, very nice, and I think Nguyen has a little problem with his sense of danger. He should be. I would be very scared when I met Lagarde. Anyway, I hope you found this enjoyable. It was a lot of tactics, a lot of queen sacrifices, and so on. And this was GM Talks signing out. Thank you for watching.